Today I am going to go over step 3, which is the nonfiction work and the presentation. Actually, I kind of lied to you. I'm not going to go over the presentation part. I'm just going to go over choosing the nonfiction work since that is all you're going to focus on for the first half. I will go over the presentation and what that requires on a later date. So to get to the requirements, you are going to want to go to the roadmap, which you can find in Schoology, and then click on step 3. That it will take you to this Google Doc, which is the nonfiction work. As you can see, the dates here, the official project date, which like I said, I will go over on a later date, is due April 20th, but the approval form is due March 26th, which is this coming Monday. So what that means is that you must have a text chosen by Monday, March 26th. That does not mean that you have to have the book in hand. That just means that you have to have narrowed your choices down to a single book, a single text that you're going to work with. So the most important part is choosing a nonfiction text. And lower here, I have a definition from Hoover Library that talks about the difference between fiction and nonfiction, and you saw me almost click on that link up here. That's a video actually between what is fiction, what is nonfiction, but basically you just need to know that fiction is literature that is creative, it's imaginative, it's all fake, and it's stories, and it's the things that people make up in their minds. It's not real. Nonfiction, it's real. It's fact. It's biographies. It's autobiographies. It's true stories that can be verified. It's textual manuals. It's nonfiction department has books, many categories, business, cooking. This is where your text is going to come from. Okay, documentaries in terms of like on DVDs, all of that historical data, that's all considered nonfiction as well. Unfortunately, you get to read a book, right? But not unfortunately. I personally prefer reading nonfiction works because they're real. It's real life stuff. So when we ask you to choose a nonfiction work, make sure it's not telling you a story. So books we've read in class that would fall under the fiction category would be Brave New World, Catcher in the Rye, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Those are all considered works of fiction. A nonfiction text would be Tuesdays with Morrie. So that is a true story that actually happened. Those were real people. And that's the sort of text that you want to choose for your nonfiction text. Continuing on with the differences, or sorry, not the differences, what you should choose. You want to choose a text that is about your topic, that goes into detail about your topic in some way. I say here, do not feel like you must choose a work, meaning a work of nonfiction that is job specific. Like, I'm not looking for you to choose a manual by any means, but you want to choose something that is in your line of work. I have tons and tons and tons of examples. I never want you to feel like you can't find anything. I did list several of those examples here, and I also included the list from last year's students. Okay, so you can see here that this is the job. Okay, and below this column here are all of the career choices that students from last year picked, okay, or at least the field that they went in. As you can see, there are many of them. I guarantee the majority of you will find that your career is also within these career choices. They all had to pick books. They all have the book titles here, the author of the book, and then the genre. I can't guarantee that the genre is going to be correct, but I definitely would pay attention to the title and the author. To find your career choice, go to first your career. If I don't have your career there, possibly just skim through here. I put all education books just clumped together. So it could be about secondary ed, it could be about elementary teaching. Engineering, I could have clumped all of you guys together too. And then same thing with like military and medical field. I think the only ones that I specified that were different were like Marines. So definitely look, oh, Navy SEAL too. Definitely look at your specific job first, and then if you can't find that, then look for the topic. Moving on from that, okay, so let's say you can't find anything. You would want to go to like your job choice. So I'm trying to think of like a difficult job choice. I know I have a student who like wants to go into something with like dermatology. Okay, so here's a book, A Dermatologist's Secrets to Looking Younger Without Surgery. I would check to make sure that this is actually a nonfiction book, that this just isn't some like self-advice book, but that's where I would start. So basically, job and then nonfiction book, okay, to search in Google. The other thing you can use is Libraries 360. So obviously you need to get into your account and then find books. You can use Overdrive here. The great thing about the LaPorte County Library here at school is that it's free, and as long as you have your library card, you are able to access all those texts at home as well. So the most important thing for you to do is choose a book. So the book must be nonfiction. It must be at least 200 pages long, no longer than 400 pages. I do let some students go over the 400 page range if they think they can handle it. If you can't meet the 200 page range, you can get a couple different books, and we can design a different project or a variation of the project we'll do for you. Try to pick one book. It must be age appropriate and of grade level. I did link like it's pretty wordy. It's a research briefing on text complexity for grades 1 through 12, and it goes into pretty great detail about what your Lexile level is, and you'll see that I do ask you to find either the grade level, Lexile level, or some way to prove that it is of age appropriateness. I just have a lot of students who think they're reading at their age level, and I come to find out they're reading like books that 5th and 6th graders could read. So try and find something that's of your age level. It can be a modern past work. You'll see from this list, there are some books in here that are from like the 1993, 1916, I think I just saw in here somewhere, 1989. It can be from anywhere. So that is no specification. Must relate to your topic choice in some format. Like I stretch that to the limit. I know I have some of you with very, very specific job choices, so I definitely allow you to venture out. If you find your book and have to order it, I hope that that's not the case. We're not asking you to spend any money. We would never ask you to do that. It's best to find a book in the library here at school, or go to the LaPorte Library, or have the LaPorte librarian mail the book here. If you do by chance want to spend the money on your book, it wouldn't be a horrible purchase, given that this is the job that you want to look into, but definitely first download the free sample. You can do this by going to Google and finding the title of your book, and then it usually just pops up, or going to Amazon or iBooks, also Kindle. And that's about it before going to the Book Bento project. So the majority of your time is going to be spent reading this book, and that's what you should focus on. Find your book, tomorrow, or should I say tomorrow, but Friday over the weekend, and then Monday by 11:59, you should have filled out the literary work. I've already filled it out. The literary work proposal form. Okay, So this is a form that you will go ahead and fill out. As you can see, a lot of students have filled it out in the past. But you choose your hour, book as it relates to your topic, title of the book, author of your book, genre, and so forth. And I think that's about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing your book choices. If you have any questions about book choices, let me know. Pretty much all of the questions that I will have about your book can be answered through the proposal form, and I will let you know if your book will or will not work for you.